Laying defeated on the floor, Violent Force warns Blast and others that their efforts will be for naught. Since Blast inflicted the wound on that man 15 years ago, he's undergone further physical enhancements and has now become the ultimate ninja, the ninja above all ninjas. Once a pinnacle of the assassination world, secretly ruling from the shadows, the lives he took numbered in the 6 figures. Even high-profile members known in history were taken out by his hand. Violent surmises that right now, he must be at Sonic's hideout, waiting for them to bring him the heroes' heads. Upon hearing this though, Blast decided to show the Heavenly Ninja Party, Speedo Sound Sonic and Flashy Flash something at Sonic's hideout and teleported them there. Already there and just chilling, the group finds Saitama casually seated in front of a hole shaped like empty void. Blast doesn't blame them if they're impressed. In truth, he arrived at the scene a bit earlier, wanting to go to Sonic's hideout to fight his former partner. To his surprise as well, Saitama had already defeated him. Stepping in, Flashy Flash asks Saitama if he killed the ninja village leader, but our Baldy assumes he isn't dead. Elaborating more, he tells his boys that once he arrived at Sonic's place, Void suddenly came from inside, absolutely pause, and attacked him. So, well yeah, he punched him, sending him deep inside the ground with it. Having listened to this explanation, the Teninto all crack up and start laughing, unable to believe that they'd really fall for some made up crap like that. Finding his bald head irritating as well, the group charged towards Saitama, hoping to avenge Void. As expected though, Saitama dusted them all off in a matter of moments. Kinda crazy when you think about it how long this arc in general has gone on for, all of the redraws that, in the end, Saitama just off-screens the boss. Throughout this video, I've gone through and placed some panels that no longer technically exist canonically. It's almost like 10 chapters of stuff that's just been completely Thanos snapped from existence, so I do hope you enjoy seeing them just one last time. It is sad to see some of the stuff that we did lose, but it is what it is at the end of the day, and I can't argue with the actual author of the series, one. Anyways, considering how the Teninto also jumped him just like Empty Void, Saitama asks Flashy for confirmation that they were ninjas as well. Dude's on a freaking journey to take out all of the ninjas he can find. Rolling in concerned though, Speedo Sound Sonic asks why the hell they're even here to start with. Listening to Saitama yap for a moment, Sonic rages out that that answer had nothing to do with why he was at his hideout to start with. In response, Saitama starts slapping him around while reminding him that the ninja had sent him countless invitation letters for a duel. Putting that aside for the moment, Saitama looks up to notice a tear in the sky slowly start to form. Blast, realizing that this is not exactly a great time, watches as 2 monolithic-sized monsters begin emerging from the gateway. A few of the recovered ninja scream out in shock, while our bald goat can't believe that the creatures are even bigger than the dog from underground. Upon seeing the monsters target Saitama and the others though, overgrown freaking Rover, or should I say undergrown freaking Rover, jumps in, shooting a plasma beam at the exact same time that the jewel-headed monster shoots its own. Clashing in the sky over the city, the power beams explode, sending out a devastating blast that annihilates a massive section of the city. It's actually insane to see how strong Rover is, and he's only in his pup form right now as well. I wonder, if he got some sort of like Zenkai boost after his size initially got diminished, because he seems kind of comparable to beforehand, yet he's just miniature. I wonder if he's going to get bigger over time and then be an even bigger problem than he was in the first place, but I highly doubt it. He's just our pup now. Seeing that the monsters did indeed survive the attack though, Blast, having used his ability to protect everyone, describes the monsters as divine beasts. These divine beasts, Byako and Genbu, both have a rating of dragon or higher and are pretty much God's pets. Launching himself into the air above everyone with Rover in his arms, Saitama readies up a punch while screaming out at the beasts to not bark at his pet. Sensing something down below though, Blast looks over to see a massive plume of smoke billow out of the hole Empty Void had been punched into before. The same smoke as when Garo broke free of his monsterization. Watching his old friend then pounce out of the crater, Blast readies himself to attack simultaneously. Fractions of a second later, Void uses his Dimension Slash to absolutely violate the Divine Beast. Instantly following up, Blast uses his Giga Gravity Blow to push the beast towards the crack that had formed in the sky. Just as it seemed like the 2 beasts were entirely out of the crack, Blast uses his dimensional powers to shut off the tear, closing them off from Earth. Right after, Empty Void then crashes back down to the ground below with his blades at the ready. Moments later though, his monsterization cracked and broke away, revealing his human face underneath and symbolizing that he was no longer under God's control. Blast, absolutely stoked to see his boy again, screams out his name. His followers though, the Heavenly Ninja Party, all jump back in horror as they see their master's real face for the first time. Amidst this, Saitama had also landed on the ground with Overgrown Rover, and seeing what had happened, he thought it was probably appropriate to leave the divine beast to the people who were already handling them. Additionally, he asked Overgrown Rover to stop barking at other pets. Watching even more of his friend's shell break away, Blast runs over while asking if he's really him. Replying that it is, dude lets him know it's as if the haze over his brain is just cleared. Just then though, Speedo Sound Sonic launches in and attempts to slice Void in two. Easily blocking the initial attack, Void is then dual assaulted as both Flashy Flash and Sonic attack the former village leader. Darting in front of his boy, Blast interrupts the duel by grabbing the ninja's blades and telling them to stop. He understands that Void put them through literal hell, but it was only ever because he was being controlled by God. Turns out though that Sonic doesn't really care about that and was only testing if he was even skilled enough to order them around in the first place. To Sonic, he seemed like the type of ninja to get stirred up over a single punch by Saitama. Leaning in, Empty Void tells Blast it's fine, he still has his memory from the time under God's control. It felt as if he was having his flaws amplified. He didn't trust Blast and acted so recklessly that he fell right into God's trap. Void then switches his focus back to his group of misfit ninjas. While he believed the larger group had inherited his style of looking down on his comrades, the same didn't seem to be the case for Sonic and Flash. Obviously, the boys kinda went through it and Flash is goated, made sure his boy wasn't there on the execution day. Having overheard Void, Sonic and Flash think the remark is an insult and start arguing with each other. In the meantime though, Empty Void turns back in preparation to return to the front lines against God. Once he does that, he promises to the rest of the Tenito that he would make it up to them. The ninjas refute it though, claiming that they didn't do this for validation, but because they were only trying to fulfill their duty and live lives as shinobi. Speaking up himself, Sonic just tells the Tenito that if they want to live life as they please, they need strength. Right now, they're just not strong enough, to which Saitama steps in saying maybe they should try strength training. While the suggestion was obviously peculiar, no one questioned Saitama after seeing how strong he was firsthand. Not that they really even saw it though, dude completely off-screened the boss. While this was going on, Blast, deep in thought, remembers the two incidents when a person broke free of God's control. No matter how much he tried to suppress Void, he couldn't take God's power out of him. With that, Blast questions just what Saitama's fists are. Which is quite a curious question, you know, like what kind of power does Saitama actually have? The ability to suppress God is a pretty insane power. When it comes to the Tenito, instead of waiting around for like their master to get back obviously, they decide to start searching for some of those mysterious cubes. But that isn't all, they also want a fresh start for the group. For this, the group starts brainstorming and eventually comes up with a proposal. Approaching Saitama, the group all drop to their knees as they ask him to become their leader. Somewhat jaded over it though, Saitama denied the request, however, the crew still continued to harass him. Over with the other ninjas, Flash tells Sonic that he had poisoned him on their graduation day. Surprisingly, Sonic didn't really care for it and instead stated he would be training Flash again from zero. Which is kinda crack up to think that Sonic thinks he's stronger than Flash, he thinks he's stronger than pretty much, the majority of people on the entire planet. Also, approaching our Baldy, Blast asks for his help in the final battle against God. Before Saitama could give the S-Class hero an answer though, Blast uses powers to teleport away to the dimension between space-time with Empty Void. The moment they reached the location, they were left shocked to see the corpse of the divine beast Kirin. Unable to fathom who possibly did this, Void questions his boy, but Blast says it's obvious, knowing Saitama had most likely done it. Love to know what you all think about these off-screen one-punches from Saitama. It has happened in the past before, but I do kind of like it when we get to see them from him, like, as they happen. Also, just gonna goon out for a moment over some history here. These divine beasts, Byakko, Genbu, and Kirin are a part of what I'm suspecting to be the 4 symbols or gods from Chinese mythology. Jujutsu Kaisen also used them with Ino and his auspicious beasts technique, which in itself is just another name for the Guardians. Instead of just the 4 beasts though, I'm guessing there will be multiple more in the future, both correlating with Japanese and Chinese mythology. The 4 gods are Seiryu, Suzaku, Byakko, and Genbu, 2 of which we obviously just saw in the last chapter. Whereas the 4 spirits, the others I expect to be coming, over the next arc, are Kirin, Phoenix, Spirit Tortoise, and Oryu. Obviously we just saw Kirin, so there's probably only 3 of them left and 2 more of the other beasts. Something else that also kind of relates to Saitama is how in ancient China, yellow is the color of the emperor, or that of nobility. Saitama was also the one who defeated the yellow dragon, Kirin, which is, obviously another name for it. He wears a big yellow suit himself, and it's said in Chinese culture that when a Kirin appears, a king who practices good politics is born. Not sure on the validity of the statement itself, so feel free to correct me as I might have got the translation wrong, but I like the idea behind how it's a subtle hint to Saitama being the king or god of this universe maybe. Not too sure on the politics part, but I'm sure we could see Detective Saitama in the future. Either way, and a few days later, we find the Tanito, Speedo Sound Sonic, Flashy Flash, and even Big Genus, all pestering the hell out of a stressed Saitama. At this rate, dude's probably gonna grow his hair freaking back. Hey, maybe he does actually get good at politics in the end. Dude has 15 groups trying to wrangle him now to, be a part of their group, or train him, or be their disciple, or have a battle with him. Anyways, if you did enjoy the video, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new around here with the bell notifications on, as it really helps in pushing my content to a bunch of new amazing people. But for now, it's been your professional degenerate Diavolo, and I'll see you all in a bit. Bye.